Hi all, in today's video we're going to be looking at dividing decimals by 10, 100 or 1000. This is part of our numeracy course in S1. So our learning intentions is to be able to divide decimals by 10, 100 and 1000. We want to be able to use our place value knowledge for ensuring we put our digits in the correct place. Okay, that's how we're going to be answering all of our questions today. And so hopefully by the end of the lesson, our success criteria, we want to be able to divide any decimal by 10 or 100 for the first lesson. Okay, if we maybe need to work more on the 1000, we can do that, but that is going to be the aim and the objective for this lesson. So we're going to start off just by going straight into examples. Now the reason why is because we've seen multiplying decimals, okay, by 10, 100, 1000. So it's a very similar process. We're going to set them up the same way, we just do something slightly different to answer them. Okay, so what you see here is a place value grid for both whole numbers and decimals. So if I start off with my decimal point, which is located here, okay, in this column here, then after that we've got the units, the tens, the hundreds, the thousands and the 10,000s. And going to the right, we have the tenths, the hundreds, the thousands, and if we need it, we can even put in the 10,000s. Okay, so place value is going to be very important for us. So what we're going to do is we're going to answer 43.2 divided by 10, and we're going to answer 2.35 divided by 10 as well. Okay, so first of all, I'm going to put my numbers in. So 43.2. Now note I'm giving my decimal a column on its own because that's how important it is. The decimal will not move one bit. Okay, the decimal is the only thing that stays there. So we've seen when we multiplied, we put our numbers to the left. So if we multiplied by 10, we moved every number to the left one space, sorry. And if it was by 100, we moved them two spaces to the left. When we divide, it's just the opposite way they go. So rather than the left, we're going to move all the digits to the right depending on what we're dividing it by. So when we divide it by 10, that means every number is going to move over to the next column. So my answer is going to be 4. Let's make sure my point's in there properly. 4.32. Okay, so the 2 that is in the tenths went to the hundreds, 3 was in units, went past the decimal into the tenths, and the 4 moved into the units there. Okay, so I get my answer 4.32. Now, for these questions, make sure you're filling out a grid like this for every question. What the best idea to do in a jotter is probably just divide your page up into this grid straight away, and then you can just put your numbers in as I'm doing now. So my next question is going to be 2.35, so let's fill that in properly. So it's going to be 2.35, and now I'm going to move them over. We're dividing by 10, so everyone's going to move one space over. So I'm going to get the answer 235 in there. I need to remember I've got my decimal point, and because I need to say something before that, even though I don't have a digit there, it's going to be 0. Okay, so we're going to have 0.235. I had to fill that space with a 0. Okay, so that's how we divide by 10. There's two examples there. Every digit just moves one space to the right. Okay, when we divide, we move to the right. Okay, so we'll now look at what happens when we divide by 100. So first of all, there's a typo there. Let's change that to 100. There we are, fixed. And let's do these two. Okay, so we'll do these a bit quicker now. Okay, we've seen the principle. But this time when we divide by 100, we move 2 spaces to the right. So I've got 154.1, and I'm going to divide that by 100, so that means I am moving 2 places over to the right. Okay, so you can see my arrows I've moved there. So the 1 would go not to the tens but to the units. So 1 point, and then we're going to get 5, 4, 1. Okay, once you get the hang of it, you don't need to draw an arrow for every single digit. You'll just see where the first one goes and the other ones will follow. But it does just give you an indication to make sure you're right. Okay, so I get the answer 4 up there as 1.541. Okay, let's try the next question. So my next number is actually a whole number to start with, so it's 9,467. 9,467. And again, we're moving them 2 spaces over. So if I think where this 9 is going to go, this 9 is going to end up going there. So I'm going to put the 9 in here. That means the 4 will go after it. The 6 will go in the next column. It can't go in this column, that's where the decimal point would be. And then I've got 6, 7. So there's an example where I didn't have to do it for every digit. I could just use the first digit and then work out where the rest goes. So I get 94.67 there. Okay, so two examples when we divide by 100. Okay, we'll look at the last ones now. No surprise, we're dividing by 1,000. Okay, so we're going to move them 3 spaces over rather than just 2. Okay, so it's going to be 432.7. Okay, and we'll divide that by 1,000. So again, we'll just move one digit to see where it's going to go. So if I move 4 over to 1, it'll go to tens. Twice would be units. Therefore, this 4 would end up going past the decimal point into the tenths column. Okay, so the 4 is going to end up there. Therefore, the 3 goes after it, the 2 goes after it, and the 7 actually goes up into the 10 of 10,000ths column. Okay, 10,000th column. Alright, but we must remember to fill this gap in. So let's fill this gap in with a 0. Okay, so we're going to get 0.4327. Okay, so there's an example of dividing by 1,000 there. We'll try this one here. So 24, so again, that's just tens of units. Oh, let's draw this in black, so let's try that again. That's not my answer, this will be my question. Okay, so 24, let's divide that by 1,000. So again, we're going to move the 2 over 3 spaces, so the 2 will go to the units once, twice would be the tens, therefore 3 would be the hundredths column. Okay, so the 2 is going to end up there, the 4 is going to end up there, a decimal point will remain in its place. And you now see I've actually got a gap after the decimal point too, so after the decimal point, we're going to have to substitute or swap in, sorry, a 0 there to fill that gap, and I need to fill the gap up before decimal point 2. So my answer is going to be 0.024. Okay, the 2 moved into the 3 boxes further along. Okay, so there's 6 examples, 2 of each type, that I'm going to get you to practice today and in your next numeracy lesson, which is very important for when we want to convert units and measurement. That's why we're learning this process, to make sure we're confident with that first. Okay, thanks for listening.